as we're building our studio setup, we wanted to add a little bit of textural pieces. So we went to the Wood Veneer Hub and we ordered this nice light oak. There's dark oak as well that is more rich, but we wanted something that popped from the rest of the set. And we are going to show you exactly how to install it. The pieces come like this. There's nothing else. The biggest thing that you need to know about this is if you're going vertical and you're just throwing it up on the wall, most of the weight is good if you're just using screws. However, there's two different ways that you can do this for extra precaution to make sure that this stuff never falls down again. And as you see on the back here, there's this like felt back. Now with the felt back, you can place, I'll use liquid nail, and I'll just take a caulk gun and apply it onto the back. And then you can just take regular drywall screws and just make sure that when you're going to drill it into this, that you just go through the felt. I'm gonna show you guys how you can put this up right here as our set. Cut off this plastic. Now, if you notice that as you go to place these different pieces, you'll see that one piece of the felt comes out a little bit longer and the other part's flat. This is how you measure out your pieces. The long part is always going to go to the short end. You can either get a Milwaukee screw or a Ryobi. People hate Ryobis because they're cheap. So you can get a nice Milwaukee. I have drywall screws. You can get regular drywall screws. However, we don't need necessarily too much. We just need something that can grip to the surface that we're putting it in. Take our first panel here. It really depends on how much space you have. We actually have barely just enough space here. So we don't like the baseboard that we have. It's kind of nasty. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover the baseboard. We're going to stick this nice and flush there against our wall. I actually prefer to leave more space at the top of these because we are going to be feeding a RGB light that's going to go around this top part, and we can squeeze that light in up there so that it shoots light onto the ceiling and a little bit onto our paneling here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our screws. We're going to place that right on our drill, and then you can just come down and you'll see it start to pull in, which is great. Now that you have your starter, you can come here. What I like to do is one on the top and one on the bottom just to start. But you want to make sure that that's flush, and then, okay. That is not going to come down at all. If you're going vertical with these just on a flat wall, you can do the liquid nail, but you don't have to. For our second piece, we're gonna take this. Remember how the flat piece was here? We're gonna connect the felt piece right here. This is how you want to make sure that you don't mess this up, because if you start with the butt end, you're going to get another butt end and it's not going to finish properly. Basically, we're just going to do the same thing with our other panel now. If you do not want to go straight into the wall, there is another practice that you can do, which is you can actually drill a 2x4 on the bottom, middle, and top. And then what you would do is, if you don't want to drill into drywall, you can drill into these lifted 2x4s on the back. And so you're going straight into wood. If you want to be able to not apply the liquid nail and just use screws, you can just drill them straight into those studs that you've already created. That's another way that I've seen it done. I've never had to really do that personally, but if you plan on moving, you might not want to glue it to the back, and you might want to just drill straight into the studs. And if you move, you can just undrill it, and then there's just the studs. You don't have to worry about ripping it down with the glue on the back with the liquid nail and stuff. So that is pretty much how you get your start going for the veneer paneling. And I will show you guys what it looks like once we're done.